to Real News with Katie, where you get the truth about what's really going on in America and all in the streets. Talking about today, defending American communities, safeguarding yours taxpayer dollars, and restoring law and order. Just this week, President Trump signed a memorandum to hold local politicians accountable for refusing to protect their communities from rioting, looting, and mass property destruction. Now, through this action, the administration will explore avenues to ensure federal funds are spent to uphold the president's promise to protect life, liberty, and property. The memorandum directs agencies to identify federal funds provided to Seattle, Portland, New York, and Washington, D.C., and the authorities available to withhold these funds. Through the Department of Justice, in consolidation with other federal agencies, we'll consider a number of factors, including whether the city in question defunded the police or prevented local law enforcement from intervening to restore order. The Trump administration will hold lawless jurisdictions accountable by reviewing federal funds provided to them, restricting their eligibility for certain federal grants where permissible, and working to redirect these funds to jurisdictions to protect communities. We will no longer be sending funds that are supposed to be going to the police and to protect the American people in these cities, and they are not being used for these reasons because they have defunded the police. And we see what New York, Seattle, Portland, and Washington, D.C. look like right now, like a third world country. Democrats ain't looking so good for the polls. Next, safeguarding your taxpayer dollars. Federal taxpayer dollars provided to states and localities each year are being wasted by reckless policies and the destruction of property in cities across our nation. So far, violence across the country has cost us taxpayers more than millions of dollars in damages to federal office buildings, and dozens of federal officers have been injured. Just Portland recently cut the police divisions for shooting and transit violence, despite receiving hundreds of millions in grants to fund public resources such as transit and law enforcement. So the cities have gotten the funds and the money to protect their people, yet for policy and politicking reasons, they do not protect the American citizens. And as shootings are skyrocketing in New York right now, local officials have agreed on a budget that shifts nearly $1 billion of police funding to other agencies. By identifying funds that may be redirected from jurisdictions where local politicians have permitted anarchy and violence to abound, President Trump is ensuring Americans are no longer forced to foot the bill for local politicians in support of what they are currently doing. We are about restoring law and order. President Trump has promoted policies that improve law enforcement and make our community safer. Just earlier this year, the Department of Justice launched the Operation Legend to surge federal resources to cities and jurisdictions plagued by violence and crimes. But we also know, even though the president has handed out the military to get in these cities and these riots could be cleared up in 24 hours, probably less. But the governors are saying no. Again, these are all in Democratic-run governor cities. In 2017, the Trump administration revitalized Project Safe Neighborhoods to bring together communities and law enforcement at all levels of government to reduce violent crime. President Trump's bold leadership led to the passage of the historic First Step Act, a landmark restructuring of the criminal justice system that promotes fairness and safer communities. And lastly, the president has reversed the wrong-headed policy that stops the provision of surplus military supplies to law enforcement. In the past administration, they stopped if there was a surplus of military supplies coming in, they would not give it on to their law enforcement officers. That has now been reversed out. Folks, we are doing everything we can in the president and the administration to keep you and your family safe. God bless you and God bless America.